Good morning. My name is Dinesh. Today's topic is accelerating your process optimization using our eQube platform extending Mendix Datahub. This eQube platform is a data as a service platform. It forms a connected network of data applications and devices, essentially creating an enterprise-wide data fabric, puts the power of analytics in the hands of end users. We are able to connect to any data, any format, any application, using any API coming at any speed. Many of you may have seen this particular slide or this rendering before. What you are seeing on the screen is eQube-MI digital backbone, and on this digital backbone it's able to connect to multiple applications as if you are trying to follow a digital thread from left to right, with ALM suite of products here to simulation products, PLM products, ERP products, all the way to IoT platform towards the end. We build these connectors using the APIs that are published by that manufacturer. We certify these connectors and we release them in the market. There are more than 60 such connectors that are already released in the market over a period of time. These connectors or these blue arrows gives us many advantages because we use the APIs. As soon as eQube connects to that particular application, it is able to understand and read the entire object model of that deployed software. So if it connects to a Team Center version, it can read all out of the box objects model as well as all custom objects, relationships, attributes, and so on. It's also able to leverage the security model, the group and access privileges, the access control logic that is embedded inside of that platform. It's able to leverage that. And another thing it's able to do is that it's able to use those rules to in fact come up with contextual data. So it can apply revision rules, it can apply effectivity rules and give you the resultant data set from a system. And that context we are able to preserve as you progress through that digital thread from left to right. This is quite a big deal. All of these blue arrows that we create and we ship out of the box, and they are able to read these custom object models, the benefits are immense. So anybody that is using our software, as soon as eQube connects to their implementation of Team Center, SAP, Doors, Maximo, whatever these products are, they are able to read the entire object model without having to write a single line of code in the endpoint connectivity. And that gives us many advantages in terms of speed of creating these solutions. As you create and take these various products, COTS products, legacy products, databases, NoSQL databases, IoT platforms, and bring them onto this digital backbone, you can create multiple solutions with it. You can have integration solutions, you can establish digital threads automatically, you can federate data, you can retire legacy systems, you can do many things with it, you can orchestrate business processes. The same infrastructure is used by our product eQube-BI, that's what you see at the top, for business intelligence. It is able to reach out into multiple systems, mash up the data in memory, and present it in this kind of in this format of KPIs and dashboards with stunning visualizations. And all of these visualizations are dynamic in nature, so if you see something red here, you can keep drilling into it all the way until you get to the level of information that you are looking for, where you can take action, therefore actionable insight. At the center of the screen, you see this cost related KPI with a JT rendering of a Formula 1 racing car. What it is doing essentially is that it's taking a parameter like cost, budget versus actual cost variance, and painting that as red, yellow, green based on the threshold established. So we're able to take a JT model and apply analytics on top of that. We feel it's probably one of the most relevant kind of visualizations for industrial customers, and therefore the slogan of digital backbone actionable insight, that is what underpins this data as a service platform. So in summary, when you think about eQube data as a service platform, you need to think about these three things. Number one, it is a low code, no code integration platform that is quite unique in the world. And in this presentation, I'm going to walk you through a couple of use cases where you'll see that. Number two is that it is the glue that connects data applications and devices throughout an enterprise. And the third is it creates this data fabric, so you essentially have access to all of your data to create solutions. So those three things is what makes this data as a service platform. When you look at that, what kind of solutions you are able to create because you have this integrated data environment, they are in these 8 categories across these 4 quadrants. Starting at the top left, of course you are able to build for-purpose app that increases the productivity for end users. You can federate data and have the intuitive user interface associated with that for-purpose app. The second one that talks about OData or REST services. What is the big deal here? Many of the data sources in any customer organization tend to be older. They are either legacy systems or older versions of Doors or Team Center or SAP or Maximo and so on. We are able to create OData or REST services across all of those data sources. Doesn't matter how old or new they are, whether they are COTS or whether they are legacy systems. On the right hand side, you see integration and orchestration, very important capabilities. So if you are trying to create an automated digital thread that goes from your requirements through Cameo for systems architecture, through Jira, through Bitbucket, Artifactory, into Team Center, we are able to create that digital thread automatically behind the scenes using the integration capabilities. And of course, you are orchestrating the business processes along the way. The migration of systems, the 5th category, is quite an important category because a lot of the customers over the past dozen years have successfully used our platform to retire multiple legacy systems into new PLM systems and so on. And we are able to do that responsibly, the operative phrase being responsibly, because using our platform, you do not have to shut down the business or cause any business disruptions. The next category talks about analytics and BI. We spoke about it. We are able to pretty much connect to any systems, multiple systems, mash up the data on the fly and bring it together to be able to provide the analytics capability, honoring the security and access control of that user. We're also able to use augmented data analytics server to be able to create machine learning based analysis to be used as part of our overall analytical framework. Lastly, we are able to federate data. We talked about that. We are able to also securely collaborate data across multiple levels of security structures for a customer. How does it all fit with Mendix Datahub and Mendix, right? So first is at the bottom you see ALM, PLM, these various data sources. Then you see the full-fledged data as a service platform on top of that. It's just a different rendering. As you see here, eCube connectors connect to these data sources. This is where those blue arrows reside. Inside of this capability right here in the middle, we have one of our products called eQube-TM. eQube-TM stands for Transformation Modeler. It is really truly one of this unique, very powerful product that is out there. Its purpose in life is to create maps and models for various applications or various interfaces and map the source or destination systems into that neutral model. Once you are able to create that, it provides a full cataloging capability that you can discover the model, discover the maps, reuse them, repurpose them, extend them to keep building your solutions organization wide. So that's what the TM maps do. TM maps are then fed into this MI processing pipeline, which you will see here in the next couple of minutes, where you are able to create an entire logic of that particular service or interface. And those MI processing pipelines with those TM maps get executed through this layer called data semantics and virtualization. This is very unique to our platform. Quite a bit of innovation that has gone into it. Data virtualization in simplistic terms allows us to neutralize or flatten the structure that you see here at the bottom. As we talk, data in these systems isn't stored in a completely different format. There is no consistent method to access that. There is REST APIs, OData APIs, regular APIs, whatever. So it's in different format. Data virtualization allows us to reach out into those and completely neutralize or flatten that structure so we can work with that data. Put it another way, data virtualization is nothing but a Rosetta Stone for applications for eQ. You know how with Rosetta Stone you can actually speak any language and converse with it. That's exactly what virtualization does with applications or data sources. And that is quite a unique capability that allows us to build solutions. With this MI processing pipeline representing a particular service or a particular interface, you can easily publish that as a REST or OData service through API gateway. Again, this is quite an innovative part of our platform. API gateway allows you to look at the life cycle and manage the life cycle of your APIs throughout your organization. You can create APIs, you can publish APIs, you can execute APIs, you can understand statistics of the APIs to make decisions. At the end of the day, these OData or REST services are available through this data as a service platform. This is where all the heavy lifting work has already taken place. Once you have it here, you can use that in the Mendix app and use that as a REST service and call on to that REST service through your microflow and build your app. The big deal really is actually lies with this data as a service platform. That's where the heavy lifting takes place to bring this data in that format. With the latest launch of Datahub, we build the integration. Our teams work very tightly with Mendix's development team to build this integration where these OData services can be registered in the Mendix Datahub, then can be discovered in Mendix application so that you can create a for-purpose app very quickly. How do we do this? 3 simple steps really. The first step is that you start with TM. This is Transformation Modeler. The purple box is basically Team Center. Then you see the blue box, that is Salesforce. You can see all objects and attributes associated with that Team Center here. The right side is your neutral structure, which is your JSON model. That is the one that creates a REST service or OData service. Pretty straightforward. The next step is to actually go to API gateway. And this is where you have the various applications that call on to that, like for-purpose apps. This is where the source systems are, SAP, Team Center, Cameo, and so on. This is the API gateway that works through our products and brings the information together. This is how you are able to create and publish them. That API gateway ties to the TM maps and the MI processing pipeline. MI processing pipeline gives you unbelievable level of flexibility and capabilities to actually create a business logic, as you can see here on the screen. This is a very simple example. There can be quite a complex business processes that you can model. The big deal here is that this is the map driven activity right here that is highlighted, and this is the map that is going to go connect with. That is how the TM map is fed into this MI processing pipeline and creating that entire solution. And once that solution is created, you can go to API gateway and with a click you can publish that as a REST or OData service, and that's how you build these solutions. I'm going to take you into a demo. This demo is, there is 2 demonstrations I'm going to do for you today. This one is a quite unique demonstration, I believe, because what we are showing here is how can you create OData service connecting to 4 different versions of Team Center. So go to a really old version of Team Center 10, 11, 12, and also show how you can create OData services using your custom object model for a customer. API gateway uses this, it's used to publish the OData APIs. These APIs are connecting to MI processing pipeline as well as the TM maps. Even if the Team Center version changes, the same neutral model, the JSON model survives, and you can create this app. So what you will see now here on the screen is we're going to log into this Mendix app. It's a straightforward app. The user goes there, he selects the source, whether it's Team Center 12, and he types in a document ID, and based on that document ID, we will fetch not only that document but all its revisions. And on the right hand side, you can see Team Center Active Workspace for version 12, that's showing you those 3 revisions that are seen here on the screen. The user will now quickly change that to Team Center 11. Same kind of thing, types in a document ID, retrieves the information on that. They will continue to go on and actually do the same kind of exercise by retrieving the data from a custom Team Center object model. And the capability I'm trying to impress upon you is it doesn't matter what the data source is, whether it's out of the box Team Center model, it's an old version, it's a custom version, we're still able to retrieve the data, as you can see here on the screen with this custom Team Center model. How do you get there from here, right? How do you build this? So this is now inside of eQube API Gateway. I briefly showed you this screen. This is a deployment canvas. On the left side, you see all the consumers of the APIs, which are apps. On the right side, you see the sources of the APIs that API gateway is connected to. There is no restriction on how many such things that you can connect with. Now we're going to open that particular API and bring it onto the screen. It tells you some statistics about that, how often it was called, how long it took, and so on. This is the details associated with that you see on the screen. And then it shows you the OData model. It also shows you the MI processing pipeline that has actually gone ahead and created this. We come to MI process. We're going to retrieve that particular process now. This is what that processing pipeline looks like. Pretty straightforward. Initialize it, use the map driven activity and get an acknowledgement back. Same straightforward. You go to MDA and you'll get into its configuration here at the bottom, and you'll click on the map and it will take you into TM. So the purple boxes indeed are the Team Center custom objects, TechDoc and then TechDoc revision. All objects revisions are available here. On the right hand side, you see the neutral model in purple, that's the JSON model. And what we've done in this example is the same exact JSON model that we are going to use, and only change the left side system from this custom to Team Center 10, 11, 12. And show you how you can quickly map this. It's all intuitive. Everything is drag and drop. There is not a single line of code that is written. And in TM, as I mentioned, not only you can create the maps, create the models, but it essentially has a cataloging capability where you can search for these models, search for these maps. This is Team Center 11 on the screen. Same right hand side JSON. The object model changes on the left with that source. And they will show you lastly Team Center 10 on the screen where you are mapping those particular objects out of the box object models there, even though it's an old version. So how does it all look? If you look at it, this is the 4 screenshots of the TM, the custom version 12, 11, 10. The right side model is the same, left side changes to the way that it needs to. Getting back into API gateway, we'll take a look at how the metadata of that OData model is available, and what we want to do now is to register that inside of Mendix Datahub. I mentioned we have an integration available out of the box, just like what you see here on the screen. You create a OData service and you say go register this OData service to API to Mendix Datahub. We go to Mendix Datahub, the user goes there, and the user is going to search for that particular OData API and bring it to 4. So there are 4 APIs that we registered for document 10, 11, 12 and custom. This is the OData model. Now we'll get into Mendix data in the Mendix application, and you will see the various entities here on the screen, which are those 4 entities that are being used to actually build the app that I already showed you up front. We'll now quickly take a look at that. How do those pieces come together? So here, this is the OData API URI that is actually being registered with OData API that is used to connect the dots. The next part we will go to is actually look at the application itself and go to a particular area in that application, call on to the microflow, and in that microflow you will see a place where we are able to call on to that OData API. That's what we do. So this is the place where it calls on to that OData API. And in summary, eQube API Gateway published these OData APIs using the common model, got it itself registered to this Mendix Datahub. Then you could discover it in Datahub and build your app very, very quickly. I'm going to quickly walk you through one more demonstration. This is a totally different demonstration. So one, we saw how you can create OData services with a common neutral model for old or new system. This one is how can you combine data from multiple systems and bring them together. I'm going to show you data coming from Team Center and Salesforce and create one OData API out of that you can use in this app. So again, we start with the Mendix app, show you the end user experience. They're going to look for part which has this F5 nomenclature associated with it. So on the left hand side, you will see the parts that are coming from Team Center with F5 in it. And on the right hand side, you see all the matching assets that are coming from Salesforce. Okay. but it's only one OData API that was created to show you this merged capability there. It's just showing here that this data is coming from Teamcenter, and it's showing here at the bottom this data is coming from Salesforce. The data is federated into this app, so it's built very quickly. You already seen eQube API Gateway is to have the consumers of those APIs call on to those sources. I'll fast forward this. We're now into API Gateway, looking at this OData model, and then looking at the processing pipeline that is used to do that. That's the metadata model that is available there. Getting into this, go further, take a look at this MI process, get into eQube MI. It's a very straightforward, it's a single activity process, start, end with a map driven activity in the middle. It just makes it so straightforward and easy, and therefore you do not need to write any line of code. Therefore it is a low no code integration platform. You click on the map from MI, it takes you into TM. The purple node is Teamcenter, the blue node is Salesforce, and the right side is basically your neutral object model for JSON. That is what is being used to register as an OData API with Mendix Datahub. And as I said, that every attribute of Teamcenter and Salesforce, every object is available to you. And that's the neutral model that is out there. Getting into this, getting back to API Gateway, this is the part entity information as the input. And then this is basically the part set is set as the output. You go to register it, you know the drill by now. You're able to register this OData API in the Mendix Datahub. You get to Mendix Datahub, you search for it, you find that particular API. This is the model that is associated with it. Inside the Mendix Studio, you look for that particular node called part cost12.x. That's the entity that is available for you to use in your app, and you can take it further from it. The same metadata URL registered with this OData API, which is published through this data hub. That's one of the ties there. The second tie, of course, has to do with getting inside the app and then taking a look at the microflow from Mendix to connect the dots. That is the microflow that calls onto that OData API to build this app. I'll get out of this, go to the next slide, and just summarize things for you. So what you see on the left hand side are these three steps. You start with TM model, go to API Gateway, go to MI. You can go in any sequence you like, doesn't have to start in TM as well. But that is how you are able to do it. So you can follow that sequence of create a model, map the systems to it, create this particular API inside of API Gateway, connect the map to it, connect the MI processing pipeline to it, consume the map inside of that MI processing pipeline and publish it. Again, we can connect to any version, old or new, for any application, carts applications, legacy applications, so on. We also talked about that because of these three products, we have an enterprise-wide catalog. TM shows you the catalog for TM maps as well as the model for that particular application or interface. Inside of API Gateway, you have an ability to search and version your APIs. So you can search for OData APIs that are already available from SAP and Teamcenter, SAP Teamcenter Salesforce, and it will find those APIs for you. So you can discover them quickly. You're able to reuse them, repurpose them. And lastly, in MI, you are of course able to look for MI processing pipelines that can be reused. So it's a very big deal there. It's a model driven development. And as you can have seen now, it's a low code, no code integration platform that is quite unique. And on the last slide, what I want to conclude on with is we already talked about this, that you have the data sources at the bottom, you have the data as a service platform, and you have these 8 categories of solutions that is able to build. Only one of those solution categories called for purpose apps. That's what you are seeing so far on the screen with Mendix Datahub and Mendix. But I wanted to impress upon you that the platform is capable of doing multitudes of these solutions, including federation orchestrations, including analytics, BI, secure collaboration, and so on. Because of this combined capability, we are able to accelerate your process optimization throughout your business, take you to accelerating your digital transformation. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this session. Don't forget to visit our virtual booth in this particular conference. I appreciate your time again. Thank you very much.